Welcome back, everybody, to the Deering Acting Studio Podcast, where we connect life and acting. So I am here, and I am this amazing one-man show today here on the podcast. Mike, as you can hear, I'm listening to myself back, which is kind of crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and mute that. Had to make sure it was working, though. That's very important. So things are rocking and rolling over here. Real quick, I'm going to put on a little editing for you. I did some pre-editing. So today I want to talk about actor grit, what it means to have grit as an actor. And I'm going to do a really quick show today. It's going to be about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to jump right in here. I got a few notes I want to hit up. First thing I like to do on the show is we're gonna pop on for a Bible verse. All right, this Bible verse is James 1:2-4. Says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness." We're gonna come back to that word, steadfastness. "And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." All right, so what's going on here? What are we talking about here in the Bible? Steadfastness. We need to be thinking of our acting like a marathon, not a sprint. We want to be thinking about what is it? What does grit mean? Grit means, are you the kind of person that you're going to do what you say you're going to do? I mean, that's huge. Will you do what you say you're going to do? We're all going to have bad things happen to us. Bad things are going to come, and obstacles are going to come. Life is going to come. Things are going to pop at you from every direction, and the true test of a person is, how do you react when those things come up? So here's a little trick for everybody. This is going to be a quick takeaway that I want you to run with in your life. Are you setting goals? And if you are setting goals, how are you holding yourself accountable? And it doesn't matter actually if you hit the goal or not. What matters is that you set the goal and that you found some way of pushing the goal forward. So for instance, here I am today, and I'm doing the podcast. And why am I doing the podcast? Because I threw it out there. I was getting my hair cut by my man Paul. Big shout out for Paul. He's sort of a spiritual guide of mine and guru. And as a matter of fact, we have a different podcast we do together. And we keep talking about the fact, hey, we haven't done our podcast in a while. Well, I said last week, all right, Monday is going to be the day. I'm going to put it. He goes, oh, you're going to put it up Monday? Yep, going to put it up Monday. And Paul knows that as soon as I get going, the momentum will start, and then his podcast is going to get back on, and that's going to be super fun as well. So here's what happened. I ran into every single obstacle a man could run into, I promise you, when it comes to this podcast stuff. Because not only did I want to get this up today, but I also, it was very important to me that we done thus far, and we have masterclass this weekend. And it's very easy to think to yourself, oh, I'm going to just like do it at the very end. I'm not going to you should be working. And if you haven't worked yet, work now. Like, now's the time. Just grind it out. So when it came to this podcast stuff, I had spent 2 days on it. Came in on a Sunday yesterday. Spent 4 hours here. And I kept getting this bzzz sound. And it was driving. Hey, what do you know? I'm still here. I thought the whole thing ended. Had an internet problem. So this goes back to what I was saying. I mean, things are not going to be perfect, of course. I spent like 2.5 years training up my boy Joey, who got fantastic at producing podcasts, fantastic at editing and creating things. And so He decided that it was time. He needed to move on for at least a little while, which I totally understood. I was totally into. I wasn't as nice as I wish I was on the way out. But the truth is, I knew I needed to cut ties quickly, but for him and for me, and it was actually better for him than it was for me, because of course I missed him more here than he probably missed us, other than maybe the paycheck. But I knew he needed to go out and learn to fly. And the best way to do that is just jump, So here we are, obviously, point made. Things didn't go perfectly. As a matter of fact, here I am. I can see that my audio has switched. So I'm going to switch that back over. See if I can find it. I can't find it. Crazy. So I believe my audio is coming in from over there now, not from this microphone. Once again, all these mistakes, at least we put up a podcast. At least I did the thing I said I was going to do. But even, the biggest thing is I set the goal, told somebody about it, by holding myself accountable to that goal, because I said, hey, person, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do it. And then by doing it, I learned. I failed. I learned. I failed. I learned. I failed. I failed more in the last 3-4 days than I care to share with you. But I grew. So are you gritty? Are you steadfast? That's what you want to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in for the Deering Acting Studio podcast. Been a while. So glad to be back. And you'll be seeing a lot more of us.